So I'm here with Lucy Morrison, the director of Pests by Vivienne Franzmann. Lucy, what can you, at this early stage of rehearsals, what can you tell me about the actress's journey into these intriguing and quite complex characters?
Well, we're in the beginning of week 2, so naturally it feels like we're just skimming the surface. But we're doing a lot of thinking around. I guess we've started with what we get on the page and the relationship between the two women and what the dynamic between them is, and that's given us loads in terms of how they react to each other and exploring that and what separates them, what brings them together. And we have been doing some research into heroin use, and we've been lucky enough to be able to talk to some users in the room, and we've been exploring stuff with them about the rhythms of a day, for example, and not going hugely into the kind of psychology of what might get you using in the first place, but really thinking about the rhythms of a day for a user and what that might look like. And of course it's different for every user. It's an individual experience like anything in life, but we're digging down into that, and I think that's just helping us understand what state they're in and where they are in the scenes in terms of their use, and how that's affecting their energy levels, their stress levels, or even what was really useful today is that we heard someone talking about how, I suppose you think of getting high, or whatever the term is, in the play it's crammed up, as being an altered state, and how actually if you're a habitual user that actually having your first hit is a bit more like normalizing things rather than being in a completely altered state, and how if you're a habitual user, your altered state really is when you're not able to get hold of your fix. So that was really useful. And we've been talking a lot about language. In the play, Viv uses language so brilliantly, and language as power, and Pink's character has a brilliant command of language and a huge enjoyment in using language, but she also uses that language against her sister, who has who's less articulate and has less words at her disposal, and how Pink uses that as a status thing, and how she might undermine her sister and sometimes even demolish her linguistically. So we've been playing with that as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for talking to us.